could be on auto.
Relatively simple roads. Safety than a person. Right now. New York, by the end of the year, fully autonomous.
As a customer base next year.
For more than a decade, Elon Musk has made some of the biggest promises in human history. He said Teslas would drive themselves by 2017. He said humans were going to Mars soon. He said the Cybertruck is Tesla's best ever vehicle. He said there will be 1 million operational Robotaxis by 2020. He said Hyperloop would take passengers from New York to DC in under 30 minutes. But years later, many of those big promises haven't happened. So how did Elon Musk convince the entire world to keep believing in him? Is he a genius trying everything for humanity, or just a salesman trying to make more money? Before there was a self-driving car, there was a video of one. October 2016, Tesla released footage online showing a Model X navigating city streets, stopping at a red light, accelerating at a green, parking itself without a driver touching the wheel. The opening text read, "The person in the driver's seat is only there for legal reasons. He is not doing anything. The car is driving itself." Musk promoted it on Twitter. The stock moved. The headlines were enormous. The future apparently had arrived. It hadn't. The video was staged. In a deposition taken in July 2022 and later reported by Reuters, Ashok Eluswamy, Tesla's own director of autopilot software, testified that the car had been hard-coded to navigate a single predetermined route using 3D mapping, a feature that did not exist in any consumer vehicle. During filming, when the team tried to show the car parking itself autonomously, the vehicle crashed into a fence in Tesla's own parking lot. Drivers intervened repeatedly during test runs. Internal emails later confirmed Musk's direct personal involvement. He reviewed multiple cuts of the footage. He complained that the jump cuts didn't look convincing enough and pushed for the demo to feel like one continuous take. In one email, sent after 2 a.m., he wrote to his team, "I will be telling the world that this is what the car will be able to do, not that it can do this upon receipt." He knew the car couldn't do it. He released the video anyway. What followed was 6 years of the same promise repeated on a loop. In April 2019, at Tesla's Autonomy Investor Day in Palo Alto, Musk stood on stage and said, "Next year for sure, we will have over 1 million robotaxis on the road. The fleet wakes up with an over-the-air update. That's all it takes." He told investors it was financially insane to buy any car other than a Tesla. He said owners could earn $30,000 a year in passive income from sending their vehicle out as a driverless cab. 2020 arrived. No robotaxis. In 2021, he said he was highly confident they'd crack it within the year. In 2023, he said, "I hesitate to say this, but I think we'll do it this year." In January 2024, the same sentence came out again. "Next year for sure we'll have over 1 million robotaxis." While Musk was giving that speech for the 4th time, Waymo, Google's self-driving subsidiary, had already completed its 10 millionth paid ride across multiple US cities. Real cars with real passengers and no driver. The Department of Justice opened a criminal investigation into Tesla in 2022, looking into whether the company had committed wire fraud by misleading consumers about its autonomous capabilities. The SEC simultaneously investigated suspected securities fraud for deceiving investors, examining Musk's statements going back to 2016. When plaintiffs sued over the broken promises, Tesla's own lawyers argued,
We're basically less than 2 years away from complete autonomy.
in court, that falling substantially short of Musk's repeated promises year after year cannot legally be deemed fraud. They called it a long-term aspirational goal. Tesla's legal team went into federal court and argued that Elon Musk's promises don't count. That is a real thing that happened. The self-driving story had a twin, and this one involved fake houses. The same month Tesla released the staged autopilot video, October 2016, Musk stood on a closed set at Universal Studios in Los Angeles, surrounded by a neighborhood of residential homes, and announced the solar roof. "Why would you buy anything else?" he asked. "The tiles looked like ordinary shingles. They would generate clean energy. last longer than a conventional roof, and cost less than a standard installation. Beautiful, revolutionary, available soon. Tesla took $1,000 deposits from thousands of homeowners. The tiles on those houses were not functional solar panels. Sources who later spoke to journalists described the event as a product built to look right for one night on a studio lot, with the actual engineering still nowhere near production ready. One source said there was a reason they announced the idea on a fake block in a fake neighborhood with fake houses. But why does that matter? At the exact moment Musk staged that reveal, he was engineering Tesla's $2.6 billion acquisition of SolarCity, a company his own cousins had founded, which was on the verge of financial collapse. He needed Tesla shareholders to vote yes on a deal that would use their money to bail out a failing family business. The solar roof was the justification. Documents that later surfaced showed that Spacex had been directed to purchase $255 million worth of SolarCity bonds, Musk using one company to prop up another. Had SolarCity collapsed, SpaceX would have been pulled down with it. The solar tiles shown that night were never manufactured. Tesla went through 3 redesigns of the product over the following years. Installations remained sparse and expensive. The revolution Musk described never came. The eventual settled shareholder lawsuits related to the SolarCity acquisition, paying $56 million out of pocket. The future was not as close as it looked. It never is. With Tesla making headlines, then came the Cybertruck that was supposed to change everything about trucks. When Musk unveiled it in November 2019, he promised deliveries in late 2021, a starting price of $39,900 and a top configuration with 500 miles of range. It would tow 14,000 pounds, carry 3,500 pounds of cargo. He said it could cross rivers. Musk emphasized that the body was made from a special alloy related to material used by SpaceX's Starship program. The night of the reveal, the window shattered immediately. Musk laughed, said, "Oh my f***ing," and told the audience, "We'll fix it in post." The truck arrived in late 2023, 2 years late. The starting price had climbed by at least $20,000 above what pre-order holders had been told to expect. The top Cyberbeast's actual range came in at around 320 miles, nearly 180 miles short of the promise. The range extender Tesla announced to close that gap was later quietly removed from Tesla's own website. The truck that Musk said could cross rivers was involved in real-world incidents where it became stuck in sand and mud, in one case requiring rescue by a Toyota minivan. Tesla's warranty explicitly excludes off-road and water damage. The window broke on night 1. The truck delivered less than promised in year 4. The robot had a similar debut. In 2021, Tesla's AI Day opened with a man in a spandex bodysuit dancing around a stage. That was the Optimus humanoid robot announcement. The actual robot hadn't been built yet. A year later, Optimus appeared in person, a machine so unsteady on its feet that it had to walk slowly toward a podium while the crowd waited. Musk was unbothered. He said the robot would cost less than a car, between $20,000 and $30,000, and predicted it would become the biggest product of any kind ever. By October 2024, at Tesla's We Robot event in Hollywood, multiple Optimus robots walked among guests, poured drinks, and held conversations in impressively natural speech. The crowd was amazed. Then, within days, the questions began. The robots' conversations were too fluid, too perfectly timed. The responses didn't have the processing lag that AI systems produce. Fortune confirmed what many had suspected. The Optimus robots at the event had been operated remotely by humans wearing motion capture suits that translated their movements directly to the machines. The human was inside every conversation. Then an Optimus robot at a Miami showroom fell over while handing out water bottles, and as it fell, its hands moved to its face in the exact motion of a person removing a VR headset. The robot was not wearing a headset. The gesture had only one logical explanation. Musk denied the robots were being remote controlled. He had previously posted a video of Optimus folding a shirt before later admitting the robot had been guided by a human operator the entire time. Meanwhile, Neuralink operated on the same clock as everything else. Musk founded the company in 2016. In 2017, he wrote that within 4 years, it would have a device on the market that could translate thoughts into computer actions and help treat brain injuries. In July 2019, he held a public launch and promised human trials would begin in 2020. They did not. In 2021, he said human trials could happen within the year. They did not. In April 2022, he said Neuralink hoped to implant its first human before 2023. It did not. At a November 2022 show and tell event, he told the crowd, "I could have a Neuralink device implanted right now and you wouldn't even know." He predicted FDA approval in about 6 months. What he did not mention was that Neuralink had already applied to the FDA for human trial approval and the FDA had already said no. Reuters reported the rejection in March 2023. The FDA's concerns included the safety of implanting and removing the device without brain damage, fire risks from lithium batteries inside the skull, and possible unintended effects from the electrical wires threaded through brain tissue. Neuralink received FDA approval in May 2023, 4 years after the original deadline. The first human implant took place in January 2024. That patient later experienced the device's electrode threads retracting from his brain tissue, reducing effectiveness. Neuralink modified its software in response. It worked eventually. 4 years late, with complications, and the CEO had announced it was months away for 4 consecutive years before it happened. Then there is Mars, and this is the longest-running promise of all. In 2011, Musk told the Wall Street Journal a human would reach Mars within 10 years. In 2016, at the International Astronautical Congress in Mexico, he laid out a detailed plan. Crewed missions beginning in 2024. A self-sustaining city of 1 million people to follow. In 2017, he said unmanned missions could reach Mars in 2022. In 2020, he said he was highly confident humans would be on Mars within 6 years. That would be 2026. 2024 came. No Mars mission. Musk acknowledged in 2024, "Obviously my predictions on this have been overly optimistic in the past." In February 2026, he announced that Spacex had shifted focus away from Mars toward building a city on the moon. He said there was now a 50-50 chance of sending an uncrewed Starship to Mars by the end of 2026, carrying Optimus robots as a simulated crew. Human missions would follow in the second or third landing attempt, he said. Maybe? In 2011, he said 10 years. It is now 2026. 15 years later, the target is a coin flip for an uncrewed test flight, and he has moved the main goal to a different planet. Finally, there is Dogecoin, and this one is short because the facts speak quickly. In early 2021, Musk began tweeting aggressively about Dogecoin, a cryptocurrency created in 2013 as a joke built around a meme of a Shiba Inu dog. He called it the people's crypto. He posted images of it going to the moon. The coin's price surged hundreds of % in response to single posts. In May 2021, he appeared on Saturday Night Live. During a skit, when asked to explain Dogecoin, he said, "It's a hustle." The price dropped 25% within hours. Retail investors who had bought in on the back of his earlier tweets took the loss. A class action lawsuit filed in 2022 saw $258 billion in damages, alleging a pump and dump scheme. In August 2024, the judge dismissed it, ruling that Musk's statements were aspirational and puffery, not factual. Legally, that means they didn't count as investment advice. The people who lost money might disagree about whether they counted. What connects the staged self-driving video to the fake solar tiles, to the $420 tweet, to the Robotaxi deadlines, to the Cybertruck specs, to the teleoperated robots, to the Neuralink countdowns, to the Mars timelines, to Dogecoin is a single operating method. Announce at maximum volume, collect the attention and the capital, miss the deadline, reframe the miss as progress, announce the next thing. Repeat? You can call it vision. You can call it ambition. You can call it a management style with a high tolerance for failure. What you cannot call it is a track record.